What's up, family? This is Dion Evans for another quick Reality Bites episode. Wanted to just talk to you all real quick about a post that I did yesterday that I think had some questions that I wanted to not even just clarify, but go a little deeper on so people can kind of get some courage and encouragement in this area. It was about forgiveness, and the post said basically that in order to really forgive, it requires a confrontation with the injury that you had. A lot of times when we are wronged, when we are hurt, when there is a infraction to a relationship, nobody really deals with it. It becomes the elephant in the room that kind of plagues the conversation, kind of plagues what's going on, and nobody ever talks about it. Nobody deals with it. And so you walk by that person or walk by that situation, and there's always an unspoken bitterness. There's always an unspoken anger. There's always an unspoken something that brings down the mood when that person's around. There's an unspoken something that just messes you up, messes that person up, because there's had not been any forgiveness, but there's not been any forgiveness only because there's not been a confrontation with the injury that happened. You have instances where people and families have been assaulted by older people, by like another relative or an uncle or something like that. And this happens. I don't speak of one situation because it happens all across the country in several different families, but it becomes an issue where it's hidden. As a matter of fact, there's a show my wife and I watch called Greenleaf, and it's the premise of even that show. And so one of the things is that you cannot forgive that person, or there cannot be any forgiveness in that situation unless there is a confrontation with what really happened. But as long as you are walking around like nothing ever happened, like nothing ever went wrong, like you were never violated, like you were never hurt, like something never ever happened to you, you can't really forgive. And if you say you forgive, you didn't really, because nobody acknowledged what happened. Nobody said this was wrong. Nobody said this was messed up. Nobody said I screwed up, you screwed up. It was just the elephant in the room that you learned to live with, but there was always a place of bitterness in you because nobody dealt with it. Even if you look at, and this may make some of you turn me off right now, this may make some of you turn me on right now, I'm not quite sure, but even if you look at the current state of affairs in our country, with a lot of the racial tension that's been happening, with police shootings, with some of the interpersonal relationships against people of different races, you find out that a lot of what has happened, a lot of the anger that's beginning to boil over is because nobody is willing to ever say this was wrong, this happened, this was messed up, this was screwed up. And so nobody is acknowledging that. Nobody is saying this is what happened, so nobody is able to get past what happened because nobody is willing to say this is what happened, this was wrong. So even if we take that and boil it down to where you and I are today in our lives, in our own relationships, let's make sure, guys, that we are, in order to forgive, we are at a place of acknowledging this was wrong, I am hurt. Now, let me not lie to you. I don't want you to be deceived thinking that this is going to be easy. Because once you confront it, it's going to become a bevy of emotions that come over you to make you think certain things, feel certain things, act certain ways. Confront it. Deal with it. Take the pain, take the hurt, because the freedom and liberty that's waiting for you on the other side of forgiveness is well worth the hurt, the pain, and all that other garbage that comes with the acknowledgement right now. I love you all so much. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.